Oh, welcome to SGL Spiritual Guiding Light. I'm Spiritually Guided Light, and this is your general self-love reading, self-motivation, self-empowerment. So we're going to go ahead and move on and go into it. I've already started your spread so far with some Divine Masculine. We have 8 of Wands, and we have the Justice coming from the masculine energy. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to put some feminine energy on this as well. Masculine and feminine energy do not have any gender roles to it. All right. And we have, for feminine, we have the Two of Emotions, as well as the 10 of Emotions. The 8 of Wands. I am looking at this as 8 opportunities, a contract for 8 months, 8 days of planning and strategizing how to balance out what triggers you. 8 simple steps. Because we, for your masculine energy, we have 8 of Wands, the Justice. For your feminine, we have the 2 of Emotions, going into the 10 of Emotions, which to me is the 10 of Emotions is clarifying the 8 of Wands, basically acknowledging self, kind of like a Gemini energy, your twin self, your shadow and your light, everything, and accepting it and becoming one with self, that commitment, more so the engagement stage, going into the 10 of Emotions, acknowledging your emotions, clarifying the Justice, willing to put it in order, placing your emotions where they need to be placed, and calming the emotions that are feeling eerie. And this is in quick. You are in fast, quick decision making. This is not complicated. This is more so the willingness of already being aware of what it is that it was that you needed to work on, pertaining to balancing out, kind of like the emperor, balancing out your emotions, being in control. Let's go ahead and start putting, before I do that, I want to put some Rebel on you, listener. Self-love, self-development. Self-love, self-development for the listener. Self-love, self-development for the listener. And we have the little voice inside you. Listen to it. Okay. Your affirmation. You have 3 affirmations. You have my life is just beginning. Everything that is happening now is happening for my ultimate good. My body is healthy. My mind is brilliant. My soul is tranquil. Your actions and emotions, emotion of happy, actions of solemn, being formal and dignified. let's go ahead and get some direction pertaining to the little voice inside. I believe that this is also confirming because your divine guidance is be with you. And it's a double. It's like the mirror of yourself, as well as the two of emotions, as well as the justice, balancing out light and dark, balancing out the yin and the yang, if I'm saying that correctly. Direction, listening to self, to the listener. We have the Emperor. That is so beautiful. The reason why I was saying it's in confirmation and pertaining to balancing out your emotions, staying in control, in that leadership, right? Being a wonderful mentor for some of you who are entrepreneurs, for those of you who are not management positions, okay? Leading by example, as well as just, if you are a parent, being able to maintain, your eerie. Okay. I mean, being able to be in control and holding your authority up area, not allowing that emotion to arise to the surface. Let's see. Go ahead. Now we're going to shed some love on you, listener. It's so beautiful. Your universal love. Before I shed this love, I'm going to read you your universal love, and that is the yes. It might seem impossible, but now is the time to receive. This is much abundance waiting for you, but the form of it will take is up to you. But be open to every good thing, knowing that you will know the best thing when it comes. All right, let's go ahead and love, self-love, self-improvement for the listener. We have heart-to-heart conversation came in reverse, which means you're not being honest with self. It also can mean that you are playing victim. And what I mean by playing victim, the most honest thing that I can say is you see red flags, and instead you're being accountable for red flags. You're taking the blame for things that you've given permission. For instance, if you tell a liar, hey, I'm going to the store, right? And the liar is going to say, oh no, I didn't see this person today, right? It's like, and then the person who asks the liar, well, have you seen such and such a day? And they say, nope, surely haven't. Not one bit, not one time. Matter of fact, not for a while. Knowing they just seen you, not understanding that it was a dire emergency situation. But the reason why that event occurred that way is because you gave it permission to. You told the liar, it's okay. I'm aware that you lied because I've experienced you lying before, and you're aware that I know that your tongue is false. So I really don't feel like that's a good example, but that's for someone who would understand what it is of what I'm saying. Moving forward, and then we have religious factors. Okay, your love life is influenced by religious upbringing and spiritual path. Pertaining to self-love, you have to fill in the blanks of what is hindrance and what is not. What is not hindrance, listener? Hold on to that. Let that be your part of your foundation, part of your growth, part of your testimony. What is hindrance? That's what you need to forgive, and what you need to let go of. Excuse me. Take a breather. Yes, that would be what you would need to because for self comes first, right? And sometimes certain things that don't serve us and pertaining to things that held us back. I'll tell you a story. So there was a gentleman who went to church, and the gentleman was very, very talented. This is a true story, not a story of lies, but a story of truth. The gentleman was very, very talented, but because of the religious uh, structure, not too much of the religious base, because globally, those rules um, was not set. It was more such um, the authority over the church, okay, was more so manly ruled than ordained ruled. And so this man was very, very talented and could had taken his talent professionally, but because the authority of the religious belief said no, that it does not align with what um, you need to serve. And so the young man lost many opportunities based off of uh, man uh, losing sight and direction. It was like it's like this global religious base factor. And then you have these branched off, sectors. In this particular branch sector, followed the common law of the belief system, but intertwined their own personal beliefs. So this young man lost many opportunities, but it was a learning lesson for the individual. They walked away because they realized it no longer served them, and they believed that their talents was a representation of being a child of God. But the authority of that particular religion felt that that was being of the world, and they thought it would be very detrimental. So the gentleman walked away, and the gentleman is successful to this day. But for those who were able to witness that young man's growth, it's like, wow, well, where would you have been if you would have left the beginning? Um, I honestly believe it was a learning experience to expand his testimony, to encourage other people, because it's not the faith-based religion. It's the man or woman who is in control over these religious systems that have their own individual foundation, and you have these sectors of people who vow and say that, yeah, I believe in this system and these and that, and then they are granted authority, and then they mix their uh, own personal control. They no longer align to really of what God has for them. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in a religious space. It could be a manager getting a position. You started off saying what it was you were going to do, and then you get the position, and next we start seeing your ego. Now you have negative pride. You're becoming a person that everyone um, is not familiar with, right? It's no different from a person um, hitting the lottery, or the change of character when being able to have access to leadership that consists of not being a shepherd. I don't want to use that. But yeah, also being a shepherd, because a shepherd does cut the wool off the sheep, which means it feeds, allows you to feed, right? Nibble of what it is it gives you access to. If you ever pay attention to a sheep or herd, there's only, you can feel free because there's a wide range to roam, to eat. But at the end of the day, you can't get out unless you have access to get out, right? And then eventually, once the wool reaches its full maturity, then you are naked all over again. Okay, for who you truly are, true self. Wherever that was going, it was going somewhere. But for those of you who are now just tuning in to SGL, welcome, 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 welcome. I'm totally digging the monotone, very relaxing. Moving forward, so listening to that voice inside can be also, if you are questioning religious factors, and that's normal in most cases. That's why it's very important that if you are an individual whom is trying to find a church home, it's very, very important to take your time, okay? So that might be your message. And you have to understand, if you are very, 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 you hold a great element to whatever choice you make. And what I'm saying is, when they say don't be confined and become of the world, or I don't know the exact words at this point, but it's basically saying that when you decide to live the journey of God's will, is that you separate yourself from the world so that you can be able to be identified, which is judgment, okay, to each his own opinion. So when you decide to choose where it is that you want to fellowship and come to agree, to with others, and you are a great asset, is what I'm saying. And take your time. Don't just show up and just join when you don't know what you're joining. Because the last thing you want to say is, well, I should have just stayed in the world, right? But not even realizing, doesn't matter what religious system you choose, it's still of the world, okay? Some people lose sight when they try to separate themselves, and being able to thinking that they have the authority to say, be not of the world. And you have to be of the world to make a difference and to make a change, okay? If man wants to not be of the world, that means they have their own agenda of control. So moving forward, let's go ahead and I want to clarify the shadow of religious factors, because that also can be daunting as well. You know, what is daunting? I don't know where that came from. Daunting, intimidating. You guys, I'm telling you, and I think that's where that arrogant energy comes from, that does not exist in me, or do not speak of. I do not claim that. What it is, it shocks me every time. I think this is a gift of words. I'm not thinking of the word. It just comes up, and then my mouth comes off my tongue, and then I'm like, where in the world? That, mind you, I am a reader, And, being a kid of a slow learning disability and having ADHD, of being hyperactive, growing up, there's some points where I remember I just did a lot of scheme reading, but didn't know that I was reading. And I think that's where that comes from. But for the most part, when I say certain words and then I go to clarify, I want to make sure, because sometimes, it sounds good and I'll say a word and it does not even mean that. So I like to confirm what it is that I'm saying, listener, moving forward. All right, shadow side of this religious factors. And it's common sense. Shadow side of religious factor is stunting growth. Most people join religious spaces because they want to feel belonged, right? You want to be a part of something. You want to have a leadership. You want to be a part. Some places, they make it seem like, yeah, you are welcome here. And the whole agenda is not what you think. That Eight of Pentacles, we have the Two of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. I truly believe this is clarifying the justice and the emotions. The Eight of Pentacles is in that Emperor, as well as the Two of Wands. I truly want to bring that heart-to-heart conversation into upright position. The reason why is because that confirms the contemplation. Okay. The Eight of Pentacles pertaining to religious factors is, having to experience. It could be multiple, not just one religious faith base. It can be all kind of different areas. And don't be sabotaging yourself and thinking like, well, am I confused? No, it's good to be open to all belief systems so that you can be able to respect other people's belief systems. There is no right and there is no wrong. That's the thing, is to be confident in what it is of self, mind, body, and soul wants to be involved in. Okay? And any hurt or any burdens or any things that we can't let go of, especially those of you who've been raised in religious belief systems, your stages as growing up and becoming older and feeling like, wow, I wonder where I fill in the blank. Now it's more so learning from that. And now your affirmation is, my life is just beginning. Okay, everything that is happening now is happening for my ultimate good. My body is healthy. My mind is brilliant. My soul is tranquil. Being stuck from those systems. You get what I'm saying? I know that I was at one point in my childhood, before my teens, entering the beginning stage of my teens, my religious base system at the time was so militant. Listening to the radio was considered a no-no. And it was just like, I loved music. And so when I would listen to music on the radio, I felt convicted. I felt like I was doing something wrong. And then when I would ask God for forgiveness on my own, my conviction was gone. It was like, this is not wrong. Okay. So don't convict yourself when you don't need to convict yourself. And it's hard to break when you are being taught to convict yourself. Okay. And that's confirming the chain breaker, okay, of one of the universal loves. And that was universal love for last week. And it was breaking those chains, but remembering that judgment, okay? Don't let other people's judgment be passed on you, because it can be an illusion and it's not real. Creating that self-sabotage. That Two of Wands is... listener, the Two of Wands is contemplation. Very, very beautiful. Okay. I really want to shed some rebel. I did, but I need to shed rebel on this religious factor. Religious factor. The self-love. Ooh. Put your phone down as a side note, listener. Oop. Let me get these ones. All right. So we have, you are loved. You are giving too many cares. Put your phone down. So yeah, be there for you. Say yes. Being accepting, to other people's beliefs. All right. As well as, because whatever your belief system, you will want to receive the same love and kindness and acceptance. Put your phone down, whatever that means to you. And shed some light for the listener. You're now just tuning into SGL. Welcome. Right. And maybe this experience of growth is your light, listener. And we have warrior woman, and this was in reverse, confirming those burdens, those heartaches, those experiences, and pertaining to religious factors, upright, coming and using all of that, right? That testimony, that powerful word of message to encourage someone else who lacks the courage, lacks the bravery to be, right? Or it can be the power of your testimony, helping other people become open-minded instead of closed in and biased, helping those who are part of wonderful religious systems, but it gives them the mind to pull away from their own personal that does not align, and it hinders their community. That's where the brainwash comes in. For those who, and it's not sad to say, the weak who don't have direction. And leaders can tell who's weak. Weakness has no hidden agenda. Weakness is weakness. Weakness will show up just like fear. Weak anger shows up with no agenda. So when the doors are open and a sheep comes in, automatically a leader can identify where to place that sheep. Does it belong with the herd? Or does it belong alone to be molded and trained? You have to fill in the blank of what that is. But to open the mind and the horizon, the most common eulogy would be the butterfly, the stages of the catalyst, right? And understanding, transitions, understanding time and when we experience. Because some of us are still stuck in childhood trauma, the why. And those who could have caused the trauma don't have the answer, because they technically still are at the why, but don't have the strength. They choose the eerie uh, uh, um, spirit because you choose to be open and solemn, not in the race for happiness, but obtaining true essence of happiness, which blesses the uh, the trauma, our burdens, and the whys. Heals the happiness, heals all those wounds. But the people who could have caused those wounds, right? Their people are still stuck in the whys. And that eerie, they summons that eerie spirit, right? And that eerie disapprove of happy. But happy always wins. It has too much light. It's contagious. It's like a it's like a it's a happy light. Like if you were to uh, put something in a flame, of course it's going to burn. But a happy flame does not consume. It does catches on fire, but it doesn't consume to destroy, if that makes sense. Okay, let's go ahead and shine some universal love on you. Uh, did I read the yes? I think I did. I believe I did, but I'm going to read it again. Okay, this is the collective universal love, and it is the yes. It might seem impossible, but now is the time to receive. There is much abundance waiting for you, but for the form it will take is up to you. Be open to every good thing, knowing that you will know the best thing when it comes. Okay, in your general self-love, self-motivation, self-improvement, self-empowerment, universal love. Just one moment. And that is the chain breaker. This is so beautiful. It is the chain breaker. It was coming out as a reverse. And for those of you listener, you don't believe that it can break. You can be free mentally, your surrounding, right? Some of you are in the area. You're disappointed. You're self-sabotaging. You need to come out of that energy. It's up to you when you are ready to do so. But understand, in order to grow and to remove blockages, okay, to move forward, understand that you are loved. And how do you confirm that you are loved? First, love thyself, okay? So let me go ahead and read this chain breaker to you. All right, judgments that have been, before I start this, understand that freedom of justice and justice in freedom and happiness all together is a beautiful thing. And what I'm speaking about and pertaining to this justice, being able to balance, okay, being in control of your emotions, being able to move forward, being able to balance out relationships, being able to balance out opportunities, balancing out your yin and your yang. Okay? Judgments that have been placed upon us by ourselves or by others can shackle us, stealing our joy and will to live. Take time today to remove these judgments, choosing not to believe the lies they tell. A judgment is not the truth. So beautiful. All right, listener, that was your general self-love of motivation reading. Don't forget, love is kind, love is gentle, and that is you.